Welcome to Freighter SH's Immortal Hours. It is I, Freighter SH, and this is the Power Glove Congress, and here is S Duck and IG88 and Mr. Peck. And Mr. Peck, how you doing? Well, it's good we actually started a show without fighting. Yeah, it just seems like we can't get this going, Freighter. Well, number one, buddy, you're a little better of mentor if you're better at monitoring your other shows, maybe they wouldn't be sliding off into another dimension. And well, wait a minute, you're the one who like dragged those guys into another dimension. Here, you're going too far. You're questioning me about my decisions. First off, Freya, you know how of a problematic employee you are. I actually had to split your conscience in two. You You imbecile! You question me. You question me so much. You don't do enough far finger gaming. Well, you made the mistake. You gave me my own show. Oh, oh no! Oh.
Boys enough fighting. Sweetie Frauder, look at me and smile, for I want you to focus on the show. Well, hello, friends. It is me, S. Duck.
Oh, my apologies, Stuck. Uh, you are very stunning today. Very, very stunning. Oh boy, she's looking very, very good today. I don't know what happened. I don't know either. I think she's having an effect on us, Freighter. Well, having an effect on me, especially. Have you thought of asking her out? Yeah, we're a game show. Oh, Freighter. Oh, Freighter. Yeah, oh my God, you are a bad Freighter. I mean, the good Freighter would always want to go for storylines and just trying to tell you, And also, I got to issue an apology. Freighter, you're supposed to be a jerk. You don't apologize. Like, what? You're the bad Freighter. Well, I have to issue an apology because last episode I was sort of in a bad mood and I didn't talk about any video games. I was just talking about show issues. And, well, that's true. I mean, there is kind of a giant elephant in the room right now, and he's kind of made of metal right now. And kind of looking at us and he kind of waiting for his turn to talk, I think. Or yeah, well, the problem is it's the IG88. It's a little too German. Um, it has a tendency to be a little hard to understand what he's saying. It's kind of funny. It's so different. Normally, what um, Mr. Peck, Mr. Badpack, that that Satterground Productions. Usually, we're used to just characters that have either an old man voice, Peter Graves' voice, a Pookuppy Adams voice, my voice. But we're not used to that. That's a really different voice. I do kind of admit I like it to some degree, but yeah, there's times it glitches out and it actually just starts to speak German. I think it gets confused by certain pronunciations of words. It is an actual TTS that reads that stuff, people. So where fast stock, it's actually very good. You can understand her very quite clearly. We actually like S stock a lot. Yeah, we like her. I really like her. Well, I keep telling you to ask her out, but well, we've had that conversation. It has to be at the right time. But first off, so yeah, so the game. We talked about the game. And then a Deja Vu for NES is now. Look, we're not going to have him anymore going through a whole Wikipedia article. No one has time for that. You can look up that stuff yourself. You just see the game we're playing, look it up. But we can give you a little sum up of what's going on in my gameplay. First off, what happens is you're a character who has had his memory erased. You don't know who you are, what you are. All you know is that apparently you're involved with a very serious crime. And so you're trying to get your memory back, but at the same time, you're trying to clear your name and trying to clear yourself this crime. It's a classic noir, basically. Classic noir, and that's about it, you know. And it's a point and click type game, and for its time would have been considered to be something a little different than what you would normally be used to, you know. And it was a game on the Mac. It was not, like some people. Apparently, there's an idiot plays nothing but Street Fighter 2 games, and apparently he thinks this does not count as a video game, not understanding that the explorations of imagination aren't confined to shmups and platform games. That's a really bad take, and there's a reason why he only has like 123 viewers sometimes. It's because bad takes usually will do that to you. Well, we're gonna just get on with the game now, and uh, we haven't really allowed IG88 to say. Okay, okay, let's let him say something.
Apparently I'm in the shits. My voice is a bit grating and that is not good.
Well, at least he's a bit honest about it. Yeah, you gotta give him points for honesty. You know, yeah. So let's just get on with the game. We're back, and you take note 4, and we're back with Deja Vu. We'll be doing one more part of this next show, and before we move on, it's a slip of paper. We got a small piece of paper with the numbers 250345 on it. And, it's a slow game. But like I said, back in the 90s, you know, the problem with people when they review games nowadays is because really in reality we have everything we need as gamers. I mean, I would argue, most people, if they have like Fallout New Vegas, Skyrim, Baldur's Gate 3, I can look at my Steam list like Team Fortress 2 or something. I mean, they pretty much anything you could ever really want, you pretty much got. So what ends up happening is if you decide, well, I kind of like old retro games too, and then all of a sudden they go to a game like this, they're like, oh my god, my brain, the ADHD can't handle it, it's so slow. It's a diary with the name Marfa on it. And the bookmark between the pages. Yeah, their brains can't handle it because they can get anything they ever want. When I play a game like this, my brain goes back to the days when there really wasn't much choice. You either, look, man, I'm gonna be honest with you back then. If you weren't very good at Contra or Mega Man, that's kind of like 90% of the NES library. I mean, those are some of the best games. Like I would say the top 5 games back then were like, like Mario 3, even Mario 2 for a while before Mario 3 came out, and Mario 3 replaced that. And then of course you had Mega Man 2 or whatever, and you had, and then after that you had Contra, and so games like that were the majority of what people are playing. Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden's hard. I mean, you know that my history on Sega Productions has a beginnings with that, And I'm picking an address. The cabbie accelerates as you arrive at your destination. he looks at the meter and says, yeah, we know. He asks for coins, and then you give him the coins. You owe me blah blah blah. And of course, so basically, what it comes down to is that it's hard when you're a kind of retro enthusiast and you're going to do some reviews for YouTube, or you're going to stream this on Twitch or Kick, and your brain is in 2025. This time, well, when I was recording this, it wasn't 2025. You're recording this in 2025. But your brain, I mean, by this point, you may even have like a Grand Theft Auto 6 or something. You know what I mean? Like you may have Starfield, and stuff, and your brain, you're used to like very big games. So now you're deciding, I'm going to review Deja Vu. Lobby and office building. There's a hallway in the front and a staircase on the left. So you're going to review this game. You're going, oh my goodness, it's so boring. It's so slow, and it's because your brain is in 2025. You got to take your brain back to 1990 and 91 and 92. Back in the days when your choices were very, very little. Very limited. I was a person that was into variety. And variety wasn't very much to be had on the NES. It was either you either played a shmup, or you played a JRPG, or you played a platformer. There were games like this, but they were not a lot of them. Like some of I would actually argue that I have probably a top 5 that could be a little weird. I do prefer on this channel to play like more pristine games. I usually generally prefer to play like Tetris, or I prefer to play Final Fantasy 1, and Super Mario. I try to kind of keep to the really perfect stuff, because there's stuff now, I've kind of moved on from, but back in the day, I generally liked. I liked Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. It was an open world, time travel, open world adventure game, and it even had dialogue choices, which is something none of the people, even AVGN and them, even bring up, that you could actually do that. But nonetheless, sometimes the problem is that was a very experimental LGN game, and sometimes stuff like that doesn't age well sometimes, because the blam. Okay, just shoot the cabinet. It's metal. Shooting a bullet against something that can ricochet, that can be kind of risky. Okay, but you open the file, and you got a bunch of files now. But yeah, that's generally the problem. I always find I used to like odd games. I even rented Star Trek on the NES back in the day, and I kind of wish I had that one. I used to rent it every week. But it was fun. It was kind of interesting. It felt open world. Some games weren't open world, but they felt like they were open world. You could actually take your ship anywhere you wanted. Funny now, I try to play it now. I can't figure out how to even freaking play it anymore. Like, especially that part where you have to pick the symbols. And it's funny, I'll actually have like the symbols drawn out and stuff, and I try to pick it, and it doesn't let me through. I don't know what happened there. So now you're going through all these, like, how to say this so YouTube doesn't, you're going through things that, of each of these items to figure out what you need to get your memory back. That's what you're doing. Oh, you're going for all these medicines, seeing what is fatal, but what is actually can use this medicine to treat patients exposed to nerve gas. It can be fatal. Medicine that can cause permanent memory loss if not quickly countered. So basically what it is if you don't get to work here and you actually solve this thing, you counter the pain of overeating. Medicine used to induce the state of euphoria. With this medicine you can induce the subject into a state of unconsciousness. But at the same time, the treatment antidote is more a dose necessary to counter. A memory medicine? That sounds kind of familiar. You feel absolutely horrible. You feel like you're ready to pass out. Meaning, yeah, you're pretty much ready to be game over if you don't do something here. So there kind of is like sort of a timing to this game. Maybe there isn't. Maybe because I'm still like, well, I think it's supposed to be like Shadowgate, you know, where, you know, you have to kind of act on things. You have to kind of hurry up because, you know, you have a time limit to things. So, yeah. And then, so yeah, you have to go through each of these items and then it is the sodium. We'll take medicine 5. You can't take it. Oh, that's great. It's one of those games where if you click the wrong pixel, it'll say, oh, you can't take that. It's just nothing. What? It's like medicine 6. Okay. Yeah, better save just in case, like, ADHD made me totally forget everything I was just looking at. Tough. Sometimes you know, you're looking at all these medicines and your brain's just like, oh my god, really? Like, apparently now I'm a pharmacist. What would you like to use this on? Well, I guess on self, right? No one else to use it on. Oh, are you gonna use it with something else, or? I'm looking for the guide, obviously. I'm not entirely sure what to do here. You put the Basodium in capsule. And I guess you're going to use the capsule on yourself, right? What would you like to use this on? A dose of Basodium. The medicine takes effect. You start rolling in. This one is from your childhood. It's Father O'Malley from the DeMille boarding school. You feel your memory slowly returning. So, okay. What would you like to use this on? Capsules, you put the sodium in the capsules. Would you like to use this one? So, the sodium. Another memory suddenly hits you as the medicine takes effect. It's Taco, the musician, putting on the Ritz. What are you gonna do? Putting on the Ritz. Putting on the Ritz. Oh, the dog. He had a dog named Dog. There was a musician back in the 80s called Taco. He had a song, Putting on the Ritz. A good song. Politically incorrect video. I don't think they could ever play that video again unless it was edited. Another flashback comes to you, obviously signaling the fact that your memory is almost returned. It's Susie Q, the girl next door. Susie Q gave you your first... kiss. First kiss. Suddenly you feel great. Now you realize who you are. Ace Harding. That's it. That's the ticket. You're Ace Harding. Private Eye. That's right. That's the ticket. I'm Ace Harding. Private investigator. That's the ticket. Examine. It is the Nidido medicine vial bottle. Take medicine. Medic 1. You can't take it. Yeah, it's the only problem. You accidentally click something at the wrong time. It'll say, yep, you can't take it. Can't take it, can't take it, can't take it, can't take it, take it, can't take it. You're standing by the entrance of an office. You're in the lobby of the office building. There's a hallway in the front, back, left, back, and the front. From the front to the back, and to the wall, to the wall. Ace Harding front. Stand in front of the office. This could possibly be your office. There's someone back there through the glass. Uh-oh. So they've just been standing there the whole freaking time. Use gun. want this? Pulls out the gun, points straight ahead, pulls the trigger, blam. Dead. Shot whoever was standing inside the office. Looking for. Use the keys. You cannot do. You gotta always click the right thing. Can't just click the door. No, it's gotta be right on the smallest frickin' pixel. Smallest tiny little. Click the keyword. Smallest little pixel. And you can see that's a little dot too. Sure, you gotta get that joy, your joypad there, just right there. And there's like some tiny legs or behind the desk, from the goon you just took out. Open the desk. There's an ammo case. Files here. File 6 or 7, I don't know. I do admit that, doing this Deja Vu commentary's been a little painful. It's very slow moving. This was this is my playthrough, of it. I had to, see, as far as Sugar Shack is known as, Sugar Shack was a blackmailer in the Alderman case. Yeah, it's just, it's, I'm looking at the guide and I might as well reveal it right now that there is going to be a discrepancy that occurs once I get into the sewer. Because I realized I was going through this guide and it's working great. It says, pick up this wealthy woman and deliver her to me. I'll collect the ransom while you get it. If that's paid, if you bungle it, you'll take the rap, and I've got everything planned so that nothing will lead to me. This is the only offer you'll ever get, so decide who and call and whatever. Yeah, so what happens is I'm going through this guide and it's working great. But then all of a sudden it kind of just bungles up or something. Like something was actually incorrect that it tells you to do. So I had to get a different guide. And then I get to the end of the game and the police just arrest me every time. They arrest me every time. Because you're supposed to go with them with the evidence. But what it is you have to get rid of something. I don't know. There was a discrepancy between the two guides. Something wasn't working and it's just game over every time. So don't get me wrong, the game actually does end. It just ends in the game over. It doesn't end in it doesn't end with you beating the game. So apparently the Saturn Rock curse kind of sits in, and we didn't finish a game. Of course, after this game, I think we play like Final Fantasy. We'll be playing that basically into next year. Trust me, when it comes to grindy games like that, I just start, I really get it. We're in front of a private eye's office. Got Mr. Hanky. Oh, Mr. Hanky. Try to make some content up here. Doing the best I can here. I am getting nostalgic for some of the games I used to play though, like back when I was a kid. Yeah, the accelerates to arrive at your destination. And you always gotta go through this. Gotta do this. I know, guys. I know. It's like gotta do this every time. They didn't back then. They probably weren't entirely sure how to make this go faster. I don't know. It's actually funny watching this. It's making me think really hard, like about the taxi stuff. It's making me think because I'm actually at the time of this recording preparing to get my passport and go to London. So I'm like thinking about things like about doing things for the first time, like taxis. And, well, of course, taxis are probably the most expensive option. You're better off taking the bus, or you're taking the tram, not the tram, take the subway, tube, as they say, to get to where you need to be in London. Just making me think of stuff like that. Okay, one of those slow pauses here. We gotta go back to the gun store. Get more. No, we're not going there. Not going there. Gotta backtrack. We're back in the bar again. In the upstairs hall leading to the door. I'm not entirely sure why I'm back up here. I assume there's like probably like a safe or something like that. Kind of hoping there isn't something I opened with. I told you about the discrepancy in the guide, so there may be a point where I get all confused and stuff. But I think there's a safe, and there's a safe, but you can't do anything about it until later. Because then once you have the, combination that's later in the game, then you can go back. See, that's why I know this game gets ripped on, and it's like, well, it's kind of an interesting. I mean, it's a text-based game, but it's like pretty open. There's a lot of even going back to older locations that you can't access at the time, and then it's kind of interesting, deep game. Take note what? You can't? Oh, you can. Open the box, there's a key. guide. Saving the game. For a second there, I thought it said you are now a secondary. Well, that's the end of playthrough today, and see you next time. And opening the door, opening the. I think that this is quite a hit cliffhanger for the next episode. They use. Key 4. Would you like to use this on? You open the truck. Oh, there's a dead body. A huge 400-pound person. Huge 400-pound woman. Well, that's a way. I'll see you next show. That's quite a horrible thing to find.